just a bill. I'm a tenants' rights bill, and I'm here on New York's Capitol Hill. In the last 50 years, the increase in American rents has far outpaced the income of American renters. And New York has some of the highest rents and the most evictions in the country. Well, these New Yorkers don't know me, but they sure would love me. While the landlords hate me 'cause they're evicting for money. For years, the real estate lobby has spent millions of dollars buying influence in New York State. Well, now there's a watershed new bill which, if passed, will protect millions of renters in New York from unfairly losing their homes. How? By limiting rent increases and extending basic protections to tenants all across the state. This game-changing bill is called Good Cause Eviction. They passed my pals in Oregon and CA, Washington and NJ, and yet still in New York I am still just a bill. Only problem is most tenants don't know about me, and the landlords, well, they hate me. By the way, I'm Jeff Seal. I'm a video journalist and comedian, and I cover housing in New York. I previously made a series about chasing down New York's worst landlords.
Call the police, officers.
Okay, call the police. They're calling the police, jig is up. Now, I wanted to fully understand the stakes of Good Cause Eviction, a massively important yet little known bill. So I toured the state talking to renters, tenant advocates, and also I tried talking to the real estate industry.
There's gonna be two things. The first is you give me the name and email of the person that time
Okay, can you tell me the second thing, just out of curiosity?
The second thing is you'll leave.
To find out why.
Okay, second thing's I'll leave, okay.
Yeah.
It's been called the landlord's worst nightmare.
We thought we'd raise Rosie here in this house and she'd go to the school across the street, but you know, that's not what's happening anymore.
This is Stacy and Ryan, and they're being evicted from their home. But like many renters in New York State, it's not because they didn't pay their rent or because they're bad tenants.
Ryan's been here for 16 years. I moved in 5 years ago. We just had a baby. They gave us 60 days to move out. I think they just want us out so that they can sell it.
It's easier to sell an empty building so a new owner can gut renovate and fill the building with new, higher paying tenants. So their landlord evicted everyone else in their building as well.
Well, I think starting with like people were coming to us with such sad stories, you know, people who had lived in their buildings for a really long time, and we had to tell them, there's nothing I can do for you.
This is Judith Goldner, a lawyer at Legal Aid. She helped draft Good Cause Eviction.
What we're unhappy about is landlords across the state who are able to evict tenants for basically no reason.
Under Good Cause Eviction, as long as you're paying your rent and are an otherwise good tenant, a landlord can't evict you. So they can't clear out an entire building just to maximize their profits on a sale.
Even my neighbors, when they heard that I would be leaving, everybody was just so sad.
When Tammy Davis discovered she had been paying half of her neighbor's electricity bill in addition to her own for 8 years, and simply asked her landlord to fix this unfair situation, she was instead served with an eviction notice.
And I've been here approximately about 12 and a half years now.
Reina Tellez doesn't even ask her landlord for fixes because she's afraid of similar retaliation.
Cuando yo quise hacer la ventana se me cayó encima de los dedos por lo mismo de que me da miedo que me pida que vaya al apartamento. Por eso me quedo callada.
Under Good Cause Eviction, as long as you're a good tenant, you're guaranteed a lease renewal, so you're protected against retaliation if you ask for repairs or form tenant associations.
My rent was increased by almost $400 with only 30 days notice. I can't afford that with the income that I have right now, and so actually I'm being evicted.
Another protection in the bill, rent increases are tied to inflation, so your landlord can't force you out of your home by just jacking up the rent. And to be fair, a landlord can still evict a tenant
for a good reason. The tenants breached their lease, causing a nuisance that hasn't paid their rent, or the landlord wants to take over an apartment for themselves or for their family members.
That's why it's called Good Cause Eviction.
Exactly.
Then you find an elected representative who would want to sponsor this bill.
Right, you're really looking for a champion in that case because it's not that easy to get any bill passed, let alone a bill that real estate is really very firmly against.
And for you, that was Julia Salazar?
Yes.
Huh?
Hey, Bill.
Hey, Julia. Nice. This is Julia Salazar, a state senator and the bill's lead sponsor.
No, but seriously, Why is the landlord lobby so dead set against it?
There are some property owners who do not believe that it is their responsibility as the owner of a residential building to provide housing or quality housing for the people who live there.
How many New Yorkers would you say even know about this bill?
Not enough,
Not
is
enough.
what I would say.
Basically, you need as many New Yorkers as possible to know about it?
Yeah.
Could we help with that? We've got
Yes.
a bunch of ideas.
Absolutely.
Okay, we're on it.
Showtime, it's showtime. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together. If you've ever heard of Good Cause Eviction. Anyone, anybody, Good Cause Eviction, raise your hand if you've heard of it. Nobody? All right, okay, that's good.
Four words. 4 words.
First syllable.
TV?
No.
Move. TV.
No.
Pending legislation in Albany. This bill applies to all market rate units except for owner-occupied buildings with less than 4 units. It's known as Good Cause Eviction. You guys heard about this one? The tenants movement calls it universal rent control. There's another pret-a-manger. Landlords call it universal rent control. You kidding me? Sorry. Market rate units account for an estimated 4 million renters, all of whom would be covered by Good Cause, Good Cause, Good Cause Eviction. And again, it caps rent increases and halts predatory
Eviction.
Yes. It's really not that radical of a bill. I don't think it's that radical, but I really wanted to hear from the real estate lobbyists who feel otherwise. But they didn't want to hear from me. So when they stopped responding to my emails, I gave them one final chance to share their perspective by showing up at their offices. Basically, I've been emailing and just trying to get an interview.
Yeah, so I'm
Oh, you're The way I see it is, the only people they really need to make their case to are the elected officials they donate large sums of money to.
not sure what else we're going to talk about right now.
Just, well, the bill, we could talk about Good Cause Eviction bill. It's just the bill. However, I was able to talk to Sherwin Belkin, a prominent lawyer who's worked with the real estate lobbies I tried to get an interview with. I was ready to sit down and have a very constructive debate.
And let me just make one last...
Nope, okay, maybe not. What other event? I have the bill. I have the bill right
Believe me, I've read the bill back in...
I'm big fan of letting
But
you
it's a
finish.
filibuster. Take
You're
a breath.
filibustering me, baby.
Take a breath.
This is a good debate. We're doing it, right?
We're
Both
debating.
sides. Both sides. I mean, this is
Debating.
good. All right.
Hate you.
What's that?
I hate you.
You hate me? Amazing. We got that on camera. That's awesome. What are your thoughts on Good Cause Eviction?
Good Cause Eviction is like naming the act, Happy Babies and Sweet Puppies Act. At the end of the day, it's deceptive and intentionally so. It's universal rent control.
Is it universal rent control?
No.
It's not.
Protracted, protected occupancy coupled with limitations on rents. That's what this is.
They got rid of rent regulation in Cambridge in the 90s. It's way too expensive to live there. We lost 300,000 rent-regulated apartments in New York since the 90s. Rents have gone up. Do you think if we got rid of the remaining 1 million rent-stabilized units, rents would magically go down?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know. In 2019, owners of rent-regulated properties lost almost every available vehicle of making profit on multifamily housing. The result is that deregulated apartments really support the regulated apartments.
New Jersey. They've had a form of Good Cause Eviction for 30 years. Are landlords in New Jersey not able to maintain their buildings?
I don't think landlords in New Jersey have the same expenses.
How is it different?
The real estate taxes, the water charges, the insurance costs are nowhere the same in New Jersey as they are in New York.
Property taxes are very high in New Jersey. Has it been devastating to the real estate industry?
I'm a New York-centric practitioner. I really can't comment on New Jersey. How about this scenario?
Let's hear it.
You own a vacation rental.
You lost me at that. We're talking about people who are trying to get by.
But
not people who are like,
how
well,
about
I
this?
gotta give up
How
my
about
second
this?
home.
How
People are
about-
trying to hold on
okay,
to their one
you
home.
just-
Landlords specifically decided to go into the business of housing people. The landlord is paying their mortgage. The landlord is building equity. All we're saying is, as long as I pay my rent, you can't kick me out of my home. And as long as I'm paying my rent every month, which is sometimes 50% of our paycheck, you can't raise the rent more than inflation. That's very reasonable. I mean, what do you tell to half of the renters in New York State? This bill will make their life a little less precarious.
I say that this is a capitalist society.
Yeah.
I say that there is a U.S. Constitution. I say that we have private property rights. I say no one held a gun to your head to sign a lease for a rent that was more than you can pay. You made that free decision. I don't think we're going to agree to do it.
No, I don't think we are.
We're not going to agree.
Definitely not going to agree.
We probably will agree to disagree.
That I'll agree on.
Okay.
Clearly, neither of us changed our minds about good cause, good cause, good cause eviction. I was pretty excited to show Julia everything we had done.
Call you a rat.
That's you. So, I imagine a lot of people have been calling.
No,
Okay.
not
No.
quite.
Oh, okay.
I think what we should probably do is public outreach. It's canvassing, it's phone banking, even knocking on people's doors, hosting public events, rallies. It's talking to as many tenants as we can.
Are you ready? Very simple. All the rent.
Do you agree that the rent is too damn high? Yes or no?
No.
To date, Governor Kathy Hochul hasn't taken a stand on good cause eviction. If you want this bill passed, call her office and tell her. And call your state reps as well and demand they support this necessary bill. These state reps haven't signed on to the bill even though their districts are filled with renters who need good cause eviction. You can go to this website to find your state assembly member and this one to find your state senator. In fact, you can do it now if you want. I'll wait. And we're back. The real estate lobby in New York has bought its way into the halls of power. While most tenants don't have the same money or access, what they do have is numbers, and they can create their own power by getting organized. In their own building, in their own neighborhood, and in their own city. And as the saying goes, if you can pass legislation here, you can pass it anywhere.
When I say good, you say good.